Thailand, yay, I'm here. Um, I decided that I would keep a travel diary. Doctor Who, very accurate for traveling. This was the same one that I used at my graduation. So I figured I didn't write about my whole day, so I figured I can just read some of this and then tell you about the rest of my day, which I may or may not write down later. So, because I definitely had an interesting day. First time experiences all around. It was great. I wrote a lot. I know, you're so surprised. Okay. So, March 11th, 2016, 8:19 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. My first flight. I am literally flying right now. It's amazing. Breathtaking. The flight attendant, she is Asian. I think her name is Tane, just gave me some water. Now I can settle in. I was slightly disappointed that the pilot, Jeff, didn't say, "And we have takeoff." It reminded me of the oatmeal comic about planes and how the pilot should start by talking about all of their life achievements. Anyways, I felt the lack of gravity as the plane rose up, going hundreds of miles per hour. I still feel lightheaded, and that makes me feel very sleepy. It's a beautiful morning. The clouds look like a lumpy savanna covered in snow. The world looks so small, so insignificant up here. The earth looks like a quilted blanket concocted by both God and man. It's beautiful. If the plane had more open space, I'd say I never want to come down. It's so cloudy and I feel safe. The sun is so bright, I feel as if I'm riding alongside it. I'm chasing the horizon, watching the sunrise from the same viewpoint as the eye of the sun. Maybe I'm being a bit overdramatic. I don't care because I'm happy. I am happy. And then I signed it. Sincerely, haha. P.S. My right ear popped first. I don't know why I thought that was significant, but it is. I'm just on a connecting flight to the International Detroit Airport, so it was a 40-minute connecting flight to Detroit. Wasn't really that exciting. Okay. March 11th, 2016, 10:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This 14-hour flight from Detroit to Incheon, South Korea is not so bad. I stayed up for the first hour and a half, then slept for about 6 hours between 2 and 8 a.m. Thai time. I've napped for 15-ish minutes at a time from then on occasionally, but 6 hours is all I really need. I can't wait to get to Korea. Cindy, Mia, Leanne, Candace, and my sister Ariel will be so jealous. I'm craving some of that rice cake with gochujang sauce. I hope I can find some at the airport before I leave. Gochujang is red hot pepper paste. Anyways, this plane is much bigger than the last one. I gave up my perfect window seat so a Korean man could sit by his wife and ended up between two large Korean men who only seemed to be able to speak a combination of English and Korean at any given time. They really didn't seem to want to talk to me. I'm sure they could speak both languages just fine, but they were just like, stop. Anyways. The one by the window has kept it closed most of the time. When we took off, his face was smashed against the glass and I couldn't see a thing. I was able to get one picture flying over Canada while he slept. I did get a few more pictures, and later in the flight after he had slept, he was much nicer to kind of push himself against his seat. I've been kind of bored, but our seats have screens on them, so I was able to listen to all kinds of cool music, including Grace Potter's new album. I played Bejeweled 2 until I got bored, then watched some Big Bang Theory and Adventure Time, all complimentary. I accidentally slept through our first in-flight meal. I flogged an attendant, and she was able to bring me what was left over. Chicken breast, which I left the N off of the word chicken. I have no idea how that happened. Chicken breast with eggplant, ratatouille, and polenta, which someone thought was mashed potatoes, and that was really funny because she was like, "Those were the weirdest mashed potatoes I'd ever had." Doy. Anyways, not mashed potatoes. For the side, it has a nice garden salad, which was small, but had half a tomato in it, cheese and crackers, roll with butter, which was really dry. It was just like prepackaged square roll. And a cinnamon brownie I will probably give away. It wasn't the bibimbap I had been promised, but it was better than I expected. I think my mom would have really liked it. The flight attendants are wonderful. I am never short of water or a snack. They even did a hot towel service twice, and that was very soothing. They do a specialty beverage service 3 times. The last 2 I just got some juice, but I went to have some of the small batch bourbon with my last meal. Beef bulgogi over steamed rice with sides of bread, fresh fruit, chocolate, and orange juice. The chocolate was actually a Twix bar. I can even ask for more booze if I want, and it's totally complimentary, but I was warned not to drink too much before we land or it will make me sick. I just wanted to try the bourbon anyways. I'll be over international water, so there is no drinking age. And I wrote, Nina, Nina, Neener. I did. Nina, Neener, Neener. Okay. I'm munching on these delightful caribou dark chocolate covered espresso beans and reading, hopefully finishing, I did not, Brandon Sanderson's Shadow Over Self. That's actually what reminded me to write, a quote from Wax's Deviant Uncle, end quote. The law is not something holy, son. It's just a reflection of the ideals of those lucky enough to be in charge. I thought that was a good point, but I do want to argue that God's law is pretty holy. Just saying. Oh, I almost forgot. I had some of the best sushi I've ever had at the airport in Detroit. I need more of this in my life. I got a 6-piece yellowtail roll and miso soup for $12, a pretty fair price for sushi, I think. It was delicious and Dad would have really liked it, the miso soup in particular. The sushi chefs were Japanese men, and the one making my sushi was singing Amazing Grace in Japanese while he did it. I have to say, it was a cherry on top of my day. It reminded me of Chris, who is a wide old Asian man at heart, when he sings Amazing Grace in the shower, and I wrote giggles, because I giggled. I miss him and he'd be a good travel companion. My handwriting just started going in the toilet. I couldn't read it. I mean, I do have Daryl, and that duck gets the job done, but he is only half as furry and not warm at all. Oh, not warm at all like my Wookiee. Just Chris. Oh well, I'll take what I can get. I'm still happy here at 34,039 feet. We had a little thing we could click on and we could see all the details of how fast we were going. I think the fastest we went was like 400 something miles an hour. I'm probably wrong though. Our whole flight is 5,322 miles and we only have 1,298 miles to go, 3 hours and 16 minutes. I can't wait to land and practice my Korean. P.S. The only thing that really bothers me about this flight is how I can't find my chapstick. So much gur. I did find my chapstick after the flight. It was in my pocket. My coat has 8 pockets. And it was in one of the hiding pockets for some reason. I don't know. But I did find it. And the bourbon, they were out by the time that I asked for it. And I was very sad. And she's like, how about whiskey? And I was like, okay. And she gave me this Canadian whiskey that I took a sip of and went, it just hit my stomach way too hard. Anyways, I wrote down some Korean phrases to remember. You can, goodbye, bye. I'm from America. 저는 미국인이에요. I'm American. Yes, please. I'll have this. What is this? I'll have, which I actually did use when they asked me for drinks when I wanted coffee. I said, "Kopiro hakeyo." Yeah, which is, I'll have coffee. It was a very good meal. What time is it? Takeaway, take home was my list of things I wanted to remember. Anyways, March 12th, 2016, 10:15 p.m. Thai time. It's exactly 12 hours difference, so that would be 10:15 a.m. your time. I'm now 12 hours into the future. Woo! I wrote ghost voice. Woo! Ghost voice. I stopped keeping track of all the weird time changes when we got to South Korea. South Korea. I was so excited to be there. I was probably never as disappointed in my life. When we were flying over China, the Chinese government, or as I like to call them, the official sky party poopers, made us turn around and take a different route over China to get to Incheon, South Korea. Which, after when we did get to South Korea, because of the delay, someone had already taken the flight spot where we were supposed to be, so we circled over the airport for about 20 minutes. We ended up being an hour late to South Korea, cutting our time in the country. It was mid-evening, around 5 p.m. Korea time, when we got there, and our flight was set to take off at 6:10 Korea time. We had to rush through the airport to transfers. We did get to ride a bullet train to our transfer station, where we waited a long time to get through security, which was classically what you'd think of going through security would be like, but we got to keep on our shoes and our jewelry. The bullet train was terrifying. It was just packed with so many people. I'm really glad that I was standing right next to the door, because otherwise I probably would have freaked out. Plus, it was less than 5 minutes, so I take that back. I probably would have been okay, but it was stressful. Oh, and I was glad that I got to keep my jewelry on, because I learned how to take these out the other night, and I tried to take it out, and my ear just started bleeding, and it hurt a lot. So and I didn't even get it out. It was very sad. Anywho, we raced through the big, sparkling, and beautiful plaza, past the traditional Korean culture experience center, which they had like 3 of them. They were all the same. Places I could have bought mandu for $1, and department stores galore. I just wanted to stop and see it all. Instead, all I got was, "I think we're almost to the gate, and what are you doing? We don't have time." Admittedly, I wanted to cry. I got to practice my Korean a bit on the plane, but it wasn't the same. There was a group of students who snuck away for about 15 minutes to explore, 4 minutes before we were supposed to board the plane. I was too afraid of missing the flight, and I regret not going with them. I hope we will get a longer layover time on the way home. As for the plane, it is very state-of-the-art. The systems/screen on the chairs is a better quality than the Delta Airlines, but it has less choices across the board. It does have more games, though. I got to play Zuma and Pac-Man. I also watched the new Goosebumps movie, which I honestly slept through half of it off and on. I got to play Zuma and Pac-Man, which was awesome. Oh, but Pac-Man was really hard with their little joystick thing. Ooh. I got to level 3. I definitely would have enjoyed the Goosebumps movie, more if I was a kid. I read through my first manhwa called The Bride of the Water God, which really reads like a K-drama, so of course I loved it. I have the first 3 books, but I only brought 1 with me. The food was pretty good, much better than Delta's. I had a fish dish, which was a bit overbaked, but the wine the adorable flight attendant insisted I have with my meal made up for it. We also had Korean cheesecake ice cream, which reminded me of the deluxe or extra creamy ice cream we have in the States. The Korean lady across the aisle from me sneaked 2. There were multiple people who do that, and I'm pretty sure she got a 3rd one later. I think the lady in front of her had snuck 2 and handed her back another one, so I thought that was really funny. Well, we're about to land. Bye for now. And so that was my day.